His Excellency, the Papal Nuncio, other members of the Diplomatic Corps, Vice President De Castro, Senate President and Ambassador Enrile, Speaker and Mrs. Nograles, Secretary and Mrs. Romulo, and other officials of the Philippine government, members of the Diplomatic Corps who are our main guests today, ladies and gentlemen. Happy New Year to all of you. 2008 was a year for the history books. The global financial turmoil spread and jeopardized the well-being of billions of people across the globe. It was a crisis year for 2/3 of the world. In the Philippines, we avoided the full brunt of the economic downturn. We kept our sights set on navigating the treacherous waters. We kept the crisis at bay, thanks to the fiscal, economic, and structural reforms we implemented in the past, even while it was unpopular to do so. As an economist, I also know that things can turn quickly. That is why we are planning for better days, even as we are developing contingency plans if things get worse. We have worked fervently, even before the crisis took root, to cushion the blow to our people. We took the rice issue head on and wrestled it to the ground. We ensured supply for the foreseeable future and put in place a targeted distribution system to get subsidized rice to those who qualify for it. We stepped up enforcement to stop unscrupulous government and commercial interests from benefiting from the plight of the poor. In addition to the food challenge, in 2008, we revitalized our agricultural modernization program and target self-sufficiency in rice within 5 years. We also strove for greater energy independence through intensified oil exploration and the greater use of geothermal, biofuel, and renewable energy. We are nearing 100% self-sufficiency in using indigenous sources for electric power generation. Moving forward, we are not complacent. An economic resiliency plan in the amount of 300 billion pesos is in the offing to pump prime the economy. The plan aims to upgrade infrastructure, expand social protection, and ensure sustainable growth in the midst of the global economic crisis. We are upbeat that our sound economic management and our measures will see us through the tough global times. 9 out of 10 Filipinos look forward with hope to the new year. The international financial community shares our confidence. Fitch underscored that our economy remains reasonably healthy. Credit Suisse announced that Philippine macroeconomic risk is lowest. Standard & Poor's compared our country to an island of relative calm amid the stormy seas of global economic uncertainty. The Bank of New York Mellon said, the Philippines is inherently strong, a potential beneficiary of these financial woes. JP Morgan agreed, and I quote, the Philippines is in a relatively strong position to weather the global downturn with the economy driven by private consumption and services, which are less vulnerable to external shocks. I assumed the presidency in 2001 with no budget to spare. Our coffers were in the negative. I'd like to greet President Ramos. Happy New Year, sir. Because of our financial reforms and sound fiscal management since 2001, our economy has posted uninterrupted growth over 36 quarters, growth that has brought down the rate of poverty, growth that has brought up average annual new employment. Growth that has supported 7 million micro-entrepreneurs. And banker Chuching Tambunting told me that things are doing well for the SMEs. And revenue enhancement measures, growth and revenue enhancement measures that have given us 100 billion pesos more in financial resources each year. Thus, we have been able to build the most roads, from highways to farm-to-market roads, the most ports, from modern airports to the ROROS system spanning Mindanao to Luzon, the most barangays electrified, the most classrooms, 3 salary increases for teachers, the most scholarships by far for high school, college, and postgraduate degrees in science and engineering, billions of pesos for training, not just millions as in the past, the most land for our indigenous peoples, and decent homes for workers at 6% interest, the lowest rate ever. With the revenues from the expanded value-added tax and alcohol and tobacco excise tax, we have been able to expand access to health care as never before. Health insurance now covers 74% of the population. Public hospitals are being upgraded, and the poor can buy their essential medicines at half the price of year 2000. Our social services now include a 10 billion peso budget for targeted cash payments to the poorest of the poor, conditioned on their children going to school. Likewise,